I was just figuring out the strategy that in case everybody misread my note, there are some parts of the book, I'm going to go straight for the jugular. I'm going to go straight for the letters because the promise is to learn the alphabet. There's a lot of very wonderful Friday night practice with prayers. However, I figured let's get all the letters done. Let's get all the Hebrew phonetics done, because in case somebody misses a class, this is going to be, incomplete information. And then we can, if we have an extra week or two, we can always go back and practice reading, which is Siddur reading. And I have a meeting on Tuesday with the education committee, planning out the curriculum for advanced beginner. And I'm going to say, I'd like to use the rest of the book. I'd like to finish the book because it's very consecutive. And I think that it is, will help you really learn the Friday night service, which is wonderful. So that's what I'm going to suggest, because there's a lot more great stuff in the book. Okay, so let me go back. I wanted to start with a review on page 33. Can everybody get to page 33?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, thankfully we found you. So it's
I was floating out in nether space. Let me just take it down.
We were beginning to worry that something
yeah, we were
happened.
concerned.
We're very happy that you're here.
We're worried about you, Carol.
Oh, well, thank you. I was worried about me too. We're like, where is everybody? All right, let me just see who's here. Let's go to participants. Okay, I'll take everybody's attendance really quickly. Oh my goodness. Well, these things happen. Okay.
It really gave us an opportunity to catch up with each other.
That's right.
Well, good. All right. I see Alice and Marilyn. How did you do on knowing those words? Charlene. Were you able to figure them out without the vowels? Well, actually,
hard.
Yeah, first without the vowels, and then I put the vowels in. Did you figure out some of the words?
Yeah, some of them.
Some, okay.
Not too many.
Did you realize that Kadosh and Kiddush have the same configuration?
Yes.
Not Kiddush, Kadosh and Kodesh. Kadosh and Kodesh. So that's an example of when you're reading Torah, that's what you would see. Just the letters, no vowels, and you'd have to know your portion very well. You'd have to know what the word is that's coming up in the sentence. Okay, and Jody, I'm glad you wrote that you called me. And Carol.
And I'm glad that somebody had your phone number. They fished out your phone number. So now we have you.
God.
Now we have you, Carol. You can't get away.
Yes, I felt I was stiffed. What happened? And asked her, I said, where's my class?
We thought maybe you were.
Yeah, it was very good. The challah was good. We ate it. I made a bunch of them with my son. After that, during the time, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
No, there's 12 of us.
12 of us.
Yeah.
The 12. I've got everybody. I got you. All right. Since it's been a couple of weeks, is everybody okay, and families and everything?
Yeah.
Doing good.
Yes.
Everybody's all right?
Yeah.
Husbands, grandchildren,
Everybody's
good.
good.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So if you look at page 33, there's a review of all the letters they have up to this point. And today is really important because we're going to learn a few new letters. So I was hoping not to be able to miss anything. Okay. So now I'm going to give you the names of the letters as we look at them. Does everybody have page 33?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I want to show you something. When I go to services or read Torah or study, whatever, I have two, can you see this? Two kippot like this.
Yes.
This one is, it has gold thread in it and all this, and there's a star in the middle. This was made for me. I had an old one, which I had picked up at one of the bat mitzvahs in my synagogue, and it was pink and it was coming apart. It was all messy. So I have a knitting group, and my friend who is as devout as you can get, Catholic. I mean, she's like a chassid in terms of the Catholic Church, okay? She's a great knitter and crocheter. So I said, look at this yarmulke. Do you think you could replicate this? All I had was the old kippah. And she said, I'll figure out the pattern. And she made me one in gold and one in off-white like this, which are my signature kippot. I wear them all the time. Friday night, I'll be wearing it tonight on Shabbat. So just a nice thing about peaceful coexistence after what happened. Okay, so the first letter from the right is called Aleph. It's silent. The next letter is Ayin, and it used to be pronounced something like Ayin. The next letter is Hey, and I always say to my student, hey, it's open. You see there's an opening in the top. Then we have the little baby Yud.
Good. Cool.
Then there's a Chaf. That's a Chaf. And then the long one, the daddy long legs, a lot of the final letters are long, final Chaf. Or in real Hebrew, Chaf Sofit. Then there's a Mem. That's at the beginning. And a final Mem Sofit. Then there's a Nun. And a final Nun Sofit. We have a Bet. And we have a Lamed. And a Kuf. The next line is Resh and a Shin. And when you're seeing that, and if you can't remember, always get your keyword Shalom. Write the word Shalom. Look at the word Shalom. And then you'll see that the Shin has a dot on the right. Because we're going to encounter a letter that has a dot on the left. And my little saying is, it's a sin to have a dot on the left because the letter is called sin. So when you're writing script and you have the letter Gimel, I always used to say Gimel Gamel Amma Kamel because it's like a C. You know, you pick up these things in teaching for so many years. All right, now we have a Tav, which is like a T. And here's where the Sephardic versus the Ashkenazic Hebrew comes in. So the one with the dot is like in the word Torah, and it's T. The one without the dot in Sephardic Hebrew, you still pronounce like a T, like Shabbat, instead of saying Shabbos. Then we have a Dalet, which looks like the corner of the door. And we have the Kuf, and we have the Tzadi, which is like a TS or a TZ. And my Hebrew name is Sipporah with a Tzadi. So TS is really the way you would do it. Now we've collected a lot of vowels in our bag. We have that one dot, and that's E. And if it's followed by a Yud, it's still E. The next new sound is A, followed by a Yud, still A. Then the three dots, which kind of look like a Mickey Mouse sort of face, it's an E. And then the straight line across, which is called a patach, is an A. And the next one's called a Kamats, and that's an A. And in Ashkenaz Hebrew, it's O. But the Sephardic, the one straight across and the one like a little T, A. The next two are the dot at the top, like I said, O, my head, like somebody hitting your head, a dot, a weight on your head is O, just the dot. And the Vav with the dot acts as a vowel. It's O. It's still O. And I'll unconfuse you today with that. Then the Vav with the dot in the middle, if I punched you in the stomach, and I punched students in the stomach, and when I said, what do you say? And they go, ooh, and I go, you're right. So you have O, O, ooh. Now we have three dots to the right, also ooh. So we have ooh with the dot in the middle, ooh, three dots slanted to the right. Then we have our lovable shva, which at the beginning of a word is like b, mitzvotav, and at the end of a syllable is silent, like in kod shecha. All right, so I thought this was a good one to review because there's words rather than just vowels. So let's take a look. The first line, it's Kadosh, right?
Mhm.
There's a dalet in it. So Kadosh.
Yeah.
All right, I want to volunteer for line 2. You have a volunteer for line 2? Okay, Robin.
Kiddush, Kaddish, Kodesh, Dodi, Dibur.
Right. Anybody ever take Israeli dance? Dodi Lee. Da, da. I walked down the aisle when I got married to Dodi Lee.
Mhm.
We had a non-Jewish friend of my husband's, and he played the organ, and he played Dodi Lee, and we went down the aisle, which means my beloved.
Could
Which
you
is really
say
nice.
that again, but slower, please? The whole line too.
Sure. Kiddush, Kaddish, Kodesh, Dodi, Dibur. Good?
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody like to do line 3? Come on, all you,
I'll
we're
do it.
rusty. We need to do this. Okay, Ella.
Ella's doing, okay.
Hadar, had, Hadart, Hadarat.
Okay, actually, in the real word, there would be a shva under that. It wouldn't be like that without a vowel. So this is just for practice. So you're right. Hadrat.
Okay. Kodesh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Kodesh. Okay.
Correct? Kodesh. Perfect.
Adon.
Right?
Adon. So long. Show.
Okay, that's an ayin.
Olam.
It's like the old rabbit ears.
Yeah.
It's an ayin. So ayin is silent. So the only thing you're gonna
Olam. I
hear
was
is
confusing it with the tzaddik. Olam.
that's a very common mistake. You and everybody else. Don't feel bad. That's a very common mistake because visually they really look similar. Okay, this is like the rabbit ears though, the 2. Okay. We need a volunteer for line 4. Helene, will you do it?
Yeah, I'll do it, yeah.
Oh, I
Lima-
think we got Helene?
Yeah.
Helene.
Lima, Helene, yeah, Sivya. Okay,
Helene.
Sivya.
Line 4.
Yes, Lima, Ta,
All right. And again, in real Hebrew, that would have a
would
shva
have a
under
shva
it. Would
next
be
to it, so
limad
Limad.
shah.
So Mad would be a syllable, and then Ta would be a syllable, correct?
Yep.
Tzedek,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tzaddik, a tzaddik.
Right. Some synagogues they have on the front they have tzedek tirdof, justice you will pursue.
And-
you know,
and
like
a
there's
tzaddik
usually a saying.
And a tzaddik would be like a holy man, a wise man.
Right. But this is tzedek. Tzedek
Mm.
is
Justice.
justice. A
And but
tzaddik.
But tzaddik is a learned
Right. The
man,
vowels
a
will be
rabbi.
different.
Okay.
Right. A righteous man. A
And then-
tzaddik. Tzaddik katamar yefrach, like that. Tzaddik.
And
Okay.
then
And there is
line,
tzaddik.
yeah, and line 5 is there's only one word there, and that would be kadosh.
Kadosh. And when you do the Kedusha, and we go up, Kadosh, and when we rise ourselves up, holy, 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 Kadosh. Very important word in Yiddishkeit. Okay, volunteer for line 6. Alice.
Alice, okay.
Alice,
Yes. Kodesh, Kiddush, Kadosh, Kadsho.
look again.
Kadu-
Okay, It's, yeah, right,
Kad-
Kadsho.
Kadsho.
You're right. It would be a shva under it,
Can
Kadsho.
I say it?
All right, now,
Kadsho.
Kadsho, it would have a vowel, a shva
It's
under it.
not a
and
real
like
word.
real-
Just trying to get you to say things correct, you know.
That's exactly right.
They're
That's
not real
perfect.
words that say.
Okay, now, yeah, it's not spelled like a real word. The real word would have a shva because the dalet needs to have a vowel under it. Remember dancing partners, you have to have a letter, a consonant, and a vowel. You have the ka, and where's that? Unless that dot is what we call a double duty dot, unless there's a dot over the dalet and on the shin. That happens sometimes, but that would be kadosh. But right now, as you see in the word before, they're showing you the two dots. Okay, you have kadosh. Now there's a O vowel, there's a vav and a dot, and then a shin. Sometimes it gets a little messy looking in writing and they only put one dot. And you have to figure out that it's a O vowel and that letter is a shin. And how would you figure it out? You'd have to know it's the word kadosh and not kados or something else. Okay, so line 6 is not over.
Oh, it continues, sorry.
Come on.
Kad shah,
Kad shecha.
kad shacha,
That would be the beginning of that syllable. Kad shecha.
let me see. Kidshanu,
Okay, so here's our friend the shva.
know
In
that word.
kad shecha, it really, there's some words in Hebrew that still have or sound. It would really be kod shecha. Okay, so the shva is at the beginning of the syllable. It's kod shecha. And again, in real Hebrew, there would be a shva under the dalet, but it's called
Are you talking about the
shecha.
second
Then the
Are you
next
talking about
word,
the second word?
like
Second-
line 6, that second one.
Kidshanu, right, is the second word.
Right, and that's the end. And there's a shva at the end of the syllable. Kid shanu.
And
In
then-
kod shecha, it's the beginning of the syllable. Shecha. And in the next word, it's kid. There, it's at the
Kidshanu.
end.
Kidshat,
Kidshanu.
kidshata, it's kid,
Kidshanu.
excuse me, kidashta. And then the last word
Right.
is mekadesh.
Right. And then the mem is the beginning. So it's me kadesh. And there's a shva at the beginning. So I looked again in the teacher's manual. Yeah.
Yeah, the second word. Is that Kidshanu or Kidishanu? Is that shva silent or is that shva a short vowel? The second word.
Second
Kidishanu.
word.
Yeah, Kidishanu. Is it
Yeah.
Kidishanu or Kidshanu?
Kid.
Line 6, second
Kid.
line
It's-
down.
Kidashanu.
Yep. It's kid. Kidshanu.
It's Kidshanu, not
Kid. It's the
Kidishanu.
end syllable. Kid.
Silent.
No,
the two-
kidshanu.
Okay.
Silent. It's the end of the syllable.
Can you
So I looked at
restate?
the teacher's manual. And they said, don't worry about the shva. That's like a very unimportant thing. It's really like very subtle and not to worry about it, about the rules, because it's got a lot of rules. Question.
Yeah, can you say
Further
the third
question.
word again on that line?
Kidashta.
Kidashta.
Okay.
Mhm. But like I said, in real writing, that shin would have to have a vowel because the kuf has a dot, it has a vowel. The dalet has a vowel. Where the shin has no, it has to have a partner. So this is not a real word the way it's really spelled.
Okay.
Okay, it's just to practice, which I think they should not have done with those anyway. Okay, line 7. Faye, would you like to try it?
Sure.
Oh, goody.
Kol, Adonai,
Bahadar.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, line 8. Carol, let me see. Jody. Want to try?
Sure. Likrat.
Perfect.
Abat. Oh, Shabbat.
Likrat.
I'm sorry.
Likrat Shabbat. It's a phrase.
Shabbat.
Likrat Shabbat. Okay, it's from Friday night. And my brain is not working. It's from Lecha Dodi. Okay, line 9, Marilyn. Line 9.
Makor, makor,
Good.
habracha.
Excellently done. Habracha. It's not habaracha. It's makor habracha. Perfect. Line 10. Who's going to give me that tzadi line? Susan?
Zaytahem.
Okay. So the tzadi, try to get it tz, because it's not a Zion. Say it.
So say it again. The
Okay, so not z, because the z is a Zion. Like a ts.
tahem.
Okay, and then there's a vowel. Say.
Ta.
Now the shva under the tav, that shows it's the end of the syllable.
Oh, so it would be silent. Then. Okay.
Yes.
Well, but you also have a silent before. So
The shva shows that it's just, the shva is silent. It would be seit. You still have to hear the tav, the consonant. Seit.
Right.
Chem.
Zayhem.
Seit.
That one I find the hardest letter of them all.
All right.
Especially when
Alice, can you say that one? I want you to hear a few people say it.
Oh.
The word on line 10.
Oh. Seitchem.
Okay. Charlene, how do you say that word on line 10?
Seitem.
Seitchem.
Seitem.
Okay. It's not seitem, it's seit. That's the end of the syllable. Seit. Chem.
Seitem.
Perfect. Okay. Ella, will you say that?
Seitchem.
Esther, you're on, Esther, you're muted. Okay. Esther, can you say the word on line 10?
Seitchem.
Seit. Chem. Seitchem. Seit. It's a hard, it's a tzadi. Okay. Jackie?
Seitchem.
There you go. Seitchem. All right. Line 11. Susan?
Okay, you want me to do it again? Okay.
Yep. You know what? I want to confront you with the tzadi.
That's okay, because it's still like when I was practicing, it was the hardest, and I kept trying to go back to thinking through like Sadaka, but it just, meets.
Yeah. Okay.
Yim. Meets Ra Yim.
Right. Mitzrayim. Does anyone
Mitzrayim.
know where is Mitzrayim?
Ryan.
We came out of Mitzrayim
Right.
with an outstretched arm. God took us out. Mitzrayim is Egypt. Mitzrayim.
Okay, wait a second.
Okay.
Go on. Yaziat.
All right, now that shva is a sounded shva because it's the beginning of the word. Beginning of the word, if you see a shva, you have to say yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yaziat.
It's yeah.
Meets.
Mitziat.
Mitziat. Mitzrayim. Rayim.
Mitzrayim. And now
Mitzrayim.
again, that would have,
Mitzrayim.
that sadi would have to have a shva under it if you're writing that word, Mitzrayim.
Mitzrayim.
Mitzrayim. Yep, Egypt. Okay, 12. Jackie, how about line 12?
Okay. I guess I'm
I'm
not
going to use this word tonight when I have my challah.
Right.
Amotzi. My yaw.
All right, that's that new one. That's a tzadi. Matzah.
Matzah. Oh, matzah. Okay. Hamotzi matzah.
Motzi matzah umaror in Passover. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. I will be saying that tonight. Actually, my husband will say that, and I'll do the kiddush. Hamotzi, and then matzah. All right, now on line 13, there's our favorite new letter, the tzadi. I want you to listen to me, and then you're all going to say it. Look at it carefully. Tzedek.
Tzedek. Tzedek.
Okay, let's start again from the beginning. I'll say it and then you say it. Tzedek.
Tzedek.
Tzaddik.
Tzaddik.
Tzaddikim.
Tzaddikim.
Tzedakah.
Tzedakah.
Okay, so we all know in English the word tzedakah. So there's an example of the shva which is sounded. It's tzedakah. Actually, the tz kind of incorporates that right? You don't say tz you say tzedakah. And there's a tzadi again one more time. Carol, would you like to do line 14?
I will try. Sion, Ratson, Ratsei. Oh, Ratsei.
Okay, let's
Ratsei and Tzitzit.
Okay, what are tzitzit?
And
nuts on the talit.
Strings from the talit.
Strings on the talit.
Right, and so I wear a talit. I've been wearing one for many years, and a kippah. And when we say this, before we say the Shema, there's a prayer. There's a part where you get ready, and you'll see whoever wears a talit to gather their
Four
talit,
corners.
and they pick up the four corners. There are four tzitzit. The tzitzit are the strings, and there's a bunch of, each bunch of strings is one of the tzitzit. So you pick them up, and I hold them in one hand, and then there's three parts of the Shema. The first part of the Shema is V'ahavta, and that's the first one. Then the second one, the second paragraph, and then the third paragraph mentions the tzitzit 3 times, and every time you hear the word tzitzit, you kiss it. You have that bunch of tzitzit in your hand and you kiss it. And then you let it go, proceed as normal. Okay, so those are just some of the choreography. Okay, let's put this away. Now, 2 o'clock, can we stay a little longer?
Yep.
Can we stay?
I can.
Can we stay? Because it was my boo-boo, Mama Loca boo-boo. All right, so we did that. Let's go now to page 36. All right. Now, my cantor in my synagogue just made he made a CD with Janice Siegel from the Manhattan Transfer, and it's all favorite Yiddish songs, and all the proceeds go to the synagogue. So I bought it and I have it. And I said, I want to know what the Yiddish words mean. So I looked online and I found from Uriel Weinreich. He's like the master of Yiddish. He was a teacher in Columbia University, and he created a Yiddish English dictionary. I don't know if that's in print, but anyway, I sent for that. I had to get it in a used bookstore called Thrift Books, And I got that because I'm going to embark on trying to teach myself Yiddish. I mean, I can speak a little bit. Ich kann reden ein bisschen Yiddish, but not a lot. Bissela. All right. So what you
Carol?
see opposite page 30, yeah.
Carol, the only thing I want to suggest is watch the series Unorthodox. You'll get a ton of Yiddish.
I saw the first one. I actually read the book. I didn't like the first one, but I may go back on your word. And if
Well,
you
I don't know
have
if you'll
on
like it or
Netflix,
not, but you know, it is what it is. But if you want to hear Yiddish all throughout and do the English translation and closed caption, it gives you some insight.
yeah, that's good. So I ordered this book. It's a dictionary and grammar book, and let's see what happens. I'm going to listen to the songs again until I can sing them in Yiddish. So opposite page 36 is Yiddish. Yiddish uses Hebrew, and it says Licht Benchen. Helene, what does that mean?
Lighting candles. You're lighting the candles, right?
Okay, well, Licht are light, and bench
Right.
to bench is
And a
blessing.
prayer,
So it's
yeah.
candle
It's a little
blessing.
prayer.
Licht Benchen. Yeah, candle lighting.
My Bubby would say
All right,
bench left.
so
It's time to
let's-
bench left. It's time to bench left.
Right,
Not
bench.
still.
Right. So bench would be to bless, and licht would be lights, the candles. Licht benchen. Okay, but we're going to take a look at this business with the vav and the dot, how it's a letter and a vowel. We've learned the letter vav, which is a straight line. All right, and if you have a lined paper, it would fill the between the lines in a composition book and a ruled paper. So now the key here, they're saying it's mitzvot equals mitzvot. Then they say when preceded by a shva, you have vo as vo. So well, let's look at the first one, mitz, and it's not said, it's a very common mistake for somebody to say mitzvot, but it's not. In that case, in that particular case, you have the syllable mitz and the vav, and it says when a shva comes before that combination, you are to look at that line as a vav with a dot on it. Mitz, and then there's a vav with a dot, mitzvot. It's not just a vowel, it's a letter, the letter vav, which is a straight line, and a dot. Mitzvot equals mitzvot. Now it's written out more clearly in the next way, but you're likely to see it both ways. More commonly, the first way. And mitzvot is the plural of mitzvah, a good deed, mitzvot, good deeds. And ot, it's a plural ending. So, if we look at the practice now, I'm going to help you out with this. It's mitzvo and then mitzvo. They're the same thing. And two is mitzvot equals mitzvot. Because in the first case, it acts, the line is a vowel. It's a vav, and it has a dot above it, O vowel. Then you have b'mitzvot and b'mitzvot. And why they're showing you this is because in the prayers and written out, the first spelling is the more common one you'll come across. So they're cluing you in that this is a little tricky. Torah u mitzvot. Now, u, it's a vowel. It's not vu. It's Torah u, which means and, mitzvot. And that equals Torah u mitzvot. And the last one is mitzvot Hashem, or mitzvot Adonai. And it's written out mitzvot Adonai. So what you really want to do is concentrate reading the first group.
On line 4.
That's what you're going to be seeing.
It is vu meets vote. How do you know that it's not vu? Wait.
because that doesn't happen with the vav like that. It only happens with the O,
So it
with the
just
vo. It doesn't happen.
Do you
When you
ever
see
have
it,
a
when you
vowel?
see that, that's a vowel. Very good question.
How would
It's
you
not
write
gonna,
voo? I guess
it only
there's no
happens with the O.
Is there any word that has
No.
voo in it? How would you write voo?
Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Well,
I
you
would
have like
probably
the-
put a vav and then a u vowel.
Yeah,
Yes,
like 3
Emily?
dots under it, the three, like we put the vav and then maybe have the 3 dots under it for the oo sound. Because
Oh,
there are 2 ways of doing oo.
You could do
Right?
that. You could do that, or you could put a vav, very good. You could put a vav and the next letter would be the vowel, the line with the dot in the middle.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you would not see this. This is gonna always be u. And
Alright.
u means and.
Oo means and.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
U means and. There's v and u. And that depends on what is in the letter after it. Okay, so that's u mitzvot.
Vote.
Torah u mitzvot.
Oo
Okay,
vote.
Right.
Okay.
so that u is a vowel. Okay, now the next important word is b'mitzvotav. Why is that important?
Part of the prayers.
Baruch
I
atah
say it every
Adonai
night.
Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav. B'mitzvotav. And here it is. V'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. With your mitzvahs, with your commandments, b'mitzvotav. Okay, so it's
Meets.
b, which is a sounded schwa, it's the beginning of the syllable, b, mitz, a silent schwa, vo, vav, with the dot, it's vo, tav, and the yud vav is av. That is a tricky word, but we know that blessing by heart, most of us. So if you want to write it down, so that you'll always know that's a very important word, it's b, mitz, vo, tav. B, mitz, vo, tav. That should become a sight word because it's in all the blessings. B, mitz, vo, tav.
What's the youth doing over there?
Sorry?
In B'mitzvotov, what's the, why they
Okay,
have,
I
why
think
they
we
have the
learned
yod at the
beforehand
top?
that the yud, yeah, the yud and the vav at the end,
Uh-huh.
or the tav, it's really the ah with the yud is av,
Okay.
and it's silent. They tell you look at the bottom. It's very small print. You have the vowel with the yud and the vav, and it's little tiny print at the bottom
Yeah.
of page 36.
Yes.
In
Okay.
av, at the end of a word, the yud is silent.
Okay.
Okay, so you hear tav.
Mhm.
It's not taiv, it's tav. The yud is silent in that combination.
Okay.
That's a good question. You're really on the ball. You guys are really being sharp. So now we have some more that look alike on 6, sound alike. B, that's bim, ro,
Mav.
mav. Bim, ro, mav. Bim, ro, mav. And they say, is it the same as bim, ro, mav? And the yud is missing in the second one. Bim, ro, mav. So whether there's a yud, whether there's a T vowel with the yud or without that yud, it's still going to be av. Bim, there is a silent shva, ro, mav. Okay, so there's a little tricky stuff here. Bim, ro, mav. And then we have next to it, shalom, bim, ro, mav. There's a yud, it's silent.
Mhm.
So what I would do, I would circle that yud, and I would write a little note, silent. Bimromav. That's a sign, that yud is silent. Okay, I didn't create Hebrew grammar, I'm sorry. Okay, line 7. B, mitz, vo, tav.
Mitzvot tav.
B, because it's a sounded shva. B, mitz, that's a silent shva. The first vo, tav. The mitz, vo, tav. So I say these are sight words. These are words just get used to seeing because you're going to see them all the time. B'mitz, vo, tav. Okay, so the difference is in the first one, there's a yud, vav at the end, and the second one, there's no yud after the tav.
So tough.
Next word is kid shanu. Kid shanu. B'mitzvotav. Kid, that's a silent kid shanu. B'mitzvotav. Now, that was all the warm up for what we're gonna do tonight. Here is the bracha for candle lighting, for lichtbenchen. And here it is, lahadlik, lahadlik,
Shabbat.
So what does lahadlik mean? What do you think? You figured out?
Kindle.
Kindle.
The kindle or to light. Beautiful. What is ner?
Light.
Candle.
Light.
Candle.
Candle.
What does shell mean?
Of.
It's a preposition. Of Shabbat. Lahadlik, ner, shel Shabbat. To kindle, the candle of Shabbat. To kindle the Shabbos candle. It doesn't say ha ner, it just says ner. Okay, so here we have the whole thing. What's what?
What Asher means. No, on line 2, right? Asher Kedishan.
That, which or that. Asher means that.
That. Okay.
That. In this case, it would be who, because it refers to Hashem. So I'll tell you what it means. So we go like it goes like this: Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. Now we're going to do it again, but line by line. Okay. So I'm going to take 3 of you at a time. I'm going to take where I'm looking at my screen. I'm going to take Helene, Charlene, and Alice. Okay, Helene, you're going to do line 1, and Charlene, you're going to do line 2, and Alice, you're going to be the cleanup girl, and you're going to do line 3. And that gives you the whole blessing. Now let me back to that Asher. So let me tell you what it means. Blessed art thou, Lord, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, our God, Melech haolam, King of the universe. You know, I've been giving you a lot of this vocabulary, a little at a time. Now, since it says, blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe, we're going to say who. But Asher could be that or who. We refer to a fact. This is a story, Asher, that you told me. But this is God, who, Asher, Kiddishanu, sanctified us, made us holy, the mitzvotav, with his commandments, V'tzivanu, and commanded us, Lohadlik, to kindle, Ner Shel Shabbat, the Sabbath candles, but they don't say Neros. So Asher means who, because it refers to Hashem. right?
Okay.
So that's
Why
the
is
whole
there
deal.
why is there Carol, under the on the second line, there's a shva under the shin.
That's not a shva. Okay, it is a shva, but it has nothing to do with it. It just shows that there are two syllables in the word, share, and it shows that you would pronounce that asher, that it stresses on the second syllable. You see, you have two of them actually.
Mm-hmm.
You have the that's not a stressed syllable. And then asher. So these are very minute points, but those are shvas to show which is a weak vowel and a strong vowel. So it's asher. You don't say asher, you say asher.
Sure.
Okay? Asher. Share. Two syllables. Share. Okay. All right. I got my batting
Okay.
order. I got my
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Ready? Baruch.
Ready. Hit it.
Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam.
Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu.
Lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Iza Yofi, I feel like a proud mama. I just got chills. I am so thrilled. This is what teaching is all about. I can't tell you, I got chills. It was perfect. A plus. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that this is like almost like a Shehechianu moment. That it's totally amazing. Really. That's fabulous. It makes my whole day, everything was worth it. Okay, Susan, line 1, Carol, line 2. You're my namesake, so better make it good. Jody, line 3. All right, let's do it.
Okay, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu.
L'halek ner shel Shabbat.
Yay. All right, 2 for 2. Robin, you're going to have line 1, Faye, line 2, and Ella, line 3. And when you see the hey with a slash, the reason it's like that is because they cannot write the 2 yuds in the book because they would have to bury it then. You can't write out. It's sacrilegious to write out the 2 yuds, which really is like yayo or something like that. You can't do that. That's something you can't write out. I can't write in my notes with 2 yuds. So if I was writing this down, I would have to put the letter hey with that slash. In teaching, and I'm teaching, I cannot write the 2 yuds ever on the blackboard because I have to clean the blackboard at the end of my class and I have to erase it. So you would have to bury this page or anything that has God's name with the 2 yuds on it. Okay, so that's what. But when we are saying the blessing, we say, as you did correctly, Baruch atah Adonai. We don't say Baruch atah Hashem. People use Hashem like if we're in an Orthodox class, Orthodox somewhere in Brooklyn, and I'm teaching you, I would say Baruch atah Hashem because I don't want to say the God's name in vain. So, but it's pronounced Baruch atah Adonai because that's like when you're really praying. So to practice, they would say Hashem, but I'm not Lubavitch, so there we go. I want you to say it correctly. Charlene.
Yeah, I have a question because I was flipping through the book during the last couple weeks, and later in the book, it's got Adonai written out with 2 verbs, just like you said. So do we have to not throw this book out?
With 2 dots, with two yuds?
Yeah.
It would be written with 2 yuds.
Page 62 has it.
All
And
right.
I'm not pulling ahead or anything, but
No, I was going ahead. Okay. There's a word there, kugoye. That's not God's name. That's a word. That means like the Christians of the earth. Kugoye ha'aratzot. Like the Christians of the lands. I didn't encounter. Oh yeah, on the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah, in the box.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So you wouldn't, like I have the book in pages, so I wouldn't throw that out. That would have to go, that would have to be
It
buried.
has to be buried, right?
Good. Right. You wouldn't throw that out.
Can I ask
So
a question,
you have to
Carol?
bring books, like old prayer books, you can't just put in the garbage. You'd have to bring it to your
Right.
synagogue.
If you have an old prayer book, can you bury it yourself, or do you have to bring it to the synagogue and they bury it in the cemetery?
They have a, yeah, I'm not, it's a special place. It's a square place and they dig down, like my synagogue has it.
Yeah,
A geniza.
Geniza.
And that's not a sneeze, a geniza. My synagogue in their parking lot in the corner, they have a geniza. So once every couple of years, they tell people bring in like a talit
Mhm.
or any prayer books or an old tikkun or chumash, and they bury it.
Yeah, but you can't do that yourself in your backyard.
I don't know. I would ask my rabbi. I would ask your rabbi if you can bury it in your. I don't know because it's not sacred space. It's not space that's been consecrated for that purpose. And when they make a geniza, I don't know if there's special prayers that they say upon that space, making that whole area something sacred. You know, like if you buried it in your yard and somebody came along and sold your house, and then they could have a tractor and they could uproot it and rip the book or whatever. So yes, Robin.
Normally, the cemeteries will take the prayer books, and we had a whole bunch of them, and we brought them to the local cemetery, and they said they would not take them because of COVID.
Oh,
Wow.
So that's interesting.
well, that's interesting. I went through a lot of my old Hebrew school teaching books, teacher guides and stuff. I have 2 bundles. One bundle I looked through where it has God's name, prayer books, and even textbooks. And so I put a string around that. I'm going to bring that into my synagogue when we open up again. And the other one, I called a religious school principal, and I said, I have teachers' guides and I have, students' books, practice books. Do you want that? But she said, now they're doing everything online and they're not even using those old textbooks. So now I have the problem because I have a lot of old materials. What am I going to do with those? Am I going to keep them? I just culled all my books. I guess I have to hang on to them. I'm not going to give it to the library, public library. Jody?
No, we've ran across that ourselves, and I don't know the organization name. If I can find it out, I'll let you know. But there are some like international schools that are more than wanting these products. Now, I don't know if who pays for the shipping, if yourself or they will pay, but they're like just starving for this kind of information. A lot of the international Hebrew schools, like
maybe Russia. Maybe
Russia,
some,
Africa, Brazil, all those places. They're just starving for the information.
Yeah. I mean, I can't put it out by the garbage. That would kill me.
But no, there's a lot.
Even though it's not sacred. Now, what books are you saying? Like prayer books?
Prayer books and study guides, and just like you're saying, and I'll try to remember the organization.
Yeah. So I have like 2 big stacks of books, and I can't, this was a lot of years of my life that I put in using all these books, and I can't just throw them out.
It's like down in Brazil and stuff. Women's League International may even have a name, because I want to say one of the times I heard about it is through Women's League International, that places across the world were looking for donations.
You know what? That would make a very good, not fundraiser, but a very good tzedakah project for Women's League.
I've donated sidors to a a synagogue in Mumbai that was flooded
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was to a synagogue in New York, and we sent a whole bunch of sidurs to Mumbai because the synagogue had experienced a flood. So I'm sure that I think it would make a great tzedakah project.
it would make a nice project even for synagogue, for your own
Yeah.
synagogue. When COVID is over, you know, they can be maybe sprayed, you know, to sanitize them, and then sent down. I didn't know about that. That's a great idea. Well, I'm going to hang on to them then. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So where were we? We
So
did
you finished-
candle lighting, 36.
Yeah,
Now,
we did candle lighting.
Oh, I'm saying the first line.
oh, yeah,
Baruch.
we have to finish this. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו.
L'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Perfect. And okay. All right, Esther, line 1, Jackie, line 2, and cleanup is played by Marilyn. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu.
Lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Wow. Excellent. Mitsuyan. I'm proud of you guys. That was terrific. We'll do a little more. I know that a lot of you are just going to learn this new letter, Gimel. Gimel, Gamel, Lama, Kamel. And that was done perfectly. And Helene, I want you to read that for your family. You said that
We actually
Helene, your
read it
grandchildren.
together. Tonight, basically, my daughter lights candles in New York, and we get from all over the country. We're all together, and we say the prayer together.
But
And
you
now
know
I
it
can
by
actually
heart,
read
right?
it. And now I can read it, as opposed
Now
to
you can read it. You
as
can read
opposed
it.
to just say
Perfectly
it.
read it. All right. Before we just before we stop, because I know some of you can't stay beyond 2:30, and I realize that. All right, let's look quickly. 37. Does anyone know what Borei Pri Hagafen or Geffen? It's sometimes Gafen and sometimes Geffen. Borei Pri Hagafen is
Prayer
Gafen
for
and Geffen
wine.
is the same thing. Right, and Geffen is the vineyard, the Pri Hagefen, the fruit of the vine. In other words, wine.
Geffen is wine or?
Okay.
Or
No,
Vineyard.
Yayin is wine. Geffen is vineyard.
oh.
Vine. Vine.
Oh,
Gaffen
okay.
and Geffen is fruit. Pri Hagafen or Pri Hagefen, fruit of the vine. All right. Remember, my first line in Hebrew was Hayayin Mitsuyan. The wine is excellent. Okay, so we have the letter Gimel. So we have Aleph, Bet, Gimel.
Gimel.
All right, so let's do just this page and we'll call it quits, okay? Line 1, let's do it together. The Gimel, G, the G sound with all the vowels that we learned. All right, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Ga, ga,
Ge,
gay,
Ge,
gay,
Gi,
Gi, Goo. What is this, baby? Goo.
Go,
Go. Apropos baby talk, I'm going to send you some secret messages written out in Hebrew, but when you sound it out, it's going to be an English note. I'm going to write you a letter, but I'm going to write it in Hebrew letters. And you're going to have to figure it out to see my letter. Okay. I used to call that phonetics, F-U-N, phonetics. And when my class, before they would come in, I would write a note on the blackboard and I would tell them to try to figure it out. Just a little fun thing. You'll see. I'm going to send you a little fun message. Okay. Line 2, go. Hello. Line 2, go.
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 Goy.
Go.
Oh, goy.
That's goy, the third word, goy. Because O and a Y sound. Oi. So it becomes an oi, like oy vey. Goy.
Goy.
Like Yisagoy El Goy Hereb. Goy means a nation. The word in Yiddish, the goyim, it's a bastardization of the word goy. Goy means nation, the other nations, the goyim. And that's how we got the word goyim. Oh yeah, shanda for the goyim. Don't just hope none of those protesters are Jews. But one was identified already as a rabbi's son. This is a shanda, a shame. Gadol.
Gadol.
Gil. Gula. Gula. Okay. Line 3. Gal. Gali. Like zum gali. There's gali. Galil. The Galil is the Galilee. That's Galilee in Hebrew. Galil. Take a trip to the Galilee. Okay. All right. Goel. Geula. Line 4. Gil. Gila. Gila is a Hebrew name. Ger. Ger means a stranger. Gog. Fiddler on the Gog. Gog is root. Gan. Like Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Gan is a garden, kindergarten, Gan class. Gam. Gam means also. Gavia. Gavia. Line 5. Nagila. Where have you heard that? Hava.
Nagila.
Nagila means, Hava means come, and Nagila means we will rejoice. Hava Nagila, come and rejoice. And the nun in the front shows we will have gil, we will have joy, we will rejoice. Okay, the next word again is goy. Gadol. Gedula. Yigdal. Elohim Hai, da 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 da, and then Yitgadal. Where have you heard that word Yitgadal?
Kaddish.
Morning is Kadosh. Yitgadal, right? The morning is Kadosh. Line 6. Goel. Golel. Geula.
Did you say that last one again? I had static, please.
Geula.
Thank you.
Line 7. Latate. Gedula. Leotzer. Bereshit. What's the connotation? What is Bereshit in the Torah?
Genesis,
is the
beginning.
name of, right, Genesis. Like in English, the word Genesis means the beginning of something, right? The genesis of an idea, the beginning. And Bereshit, bara, Elohim, et hashamayim, ve'et ha'aretz, ve'ha'aretz, tohu vavohu. Line 8. Vehu Eli. That means, and he is my God. Who, the is and, who means he, H-E, Eli. El is God. Eli means my God. Goali. V'im. Gviati.
Yati.
Good. Line 9. Yit gadal.
Yit
Gadal.
Yit kadash.
It Kadosh.
Demei Rabba.
Wow.
Now at the bottom is the Geffen. Geffen is also a brand of Israeli wine. Geffen.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you like wine, and I enjoy wine, the Israeli wines, this amazing Israeli wines. And if you don't want to spend a lot, you know, so when I go to a new wine store, I always say, oh, will you please get me some Israeli wines, import some. And they do. Good Israeli wines, the good brands. There's wonderful wines from Israel. If you want a good wine, other than Manischewitz, which I only drink on Friday night, the ones from California. What's the one that's some excellent wines from California, and they're really good. I mean, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, and really good wine. And they're not expensive, but they're really good. So Geffen, we're back to the vine, the fruit of the vine. And here we have, and we all know now the blessing. Okay, I'm not going to take any more of your time because it was my boo-boo, but we'll pick up the pace. And next time, here's the very good news. Between next class and the one after, I'm going to be skipping. I've gone through this already, so I have it mapped out. There are pages that I'm going to skip, like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 pages at a time. I am going to concentrate on the pages that teach new letters or new combinations, like the ach at the end. And when we finish that, if we have time, let's say the last 2, so in 2 more lessons, we'll have finished the alphabet. We'll be done. So stick with it. You're doing fabulously well, all of you, every single one of you. Fantastic. It's unreal. And we'll finish the alphabet for sure. And then we'll go back. And there's a very good prayer practice on those pages. But I'm purposely, I have mapped it out. I got my lesson plan done. I know where we're going and I know how we're going to get there. We're going to arrive. We'll get there. Okay. On arrive, we will get there. And you'll be ready for advanced. I'm not advanced, but advanced beginner.
If anybody would like to practice in the interim, I have a pro account, so I can set something up. And I'll send out an email, a group email, if we want to practice together. I know Robin and I did some, and it really does help. It's just like, you know, if you're going for a law degree, you want to, you know, you still go through stuff, a little study group. So if anybody's interested, you know, I'll set something up and we can do a little practice together.
So I would suggest, since we did, okay, we did 37 now, because right away, and the reason I don't want to push it anymore, because on the next page is a new letter. It's a fey and then a pay and a final fey. So there's, you know, that's when you're fresh. We'll start that next week at 1 o'clock, I promise. And I would say if you're going to do some, well, I guess I would go back because
yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at, going back.
Yeah, not forward.
Yeah, bet is het is kaf. You can't. There's
no.
There are a lot of new letters coming up, but we'll finish. We definitely will finish in two sessions, and the last one we'll just do practice reading. And what you're going to see, I mean, I don't know what your any of your synagogues have services online for Friday night.
Yes.
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 You have a prayer book at home.
Yes.
So like if the cantor says, okay.
Yeah.
So what you should do is like my shul has a live streaming Friday night service. They also have this new thing at 4 o'clock or whatever. It's a 4:15 a schmooze. So you can see everybody, you know, you can go to see everyone who's on. Hi, how are you? And all that. And then the cantor, because the cantor is not able to do it. So the rabbi is going to do that from 15 minutes of schmoozing. At 5:45, they have the live streaming. So if you attend a Friday night service in your synagogue, get your siddur out. And when the cantor is singing, track it. You know what tracking is. he's going to be singing, davening, and you put your finger on the words and track. And you're going to find that a lot of the words that we've had up to this point are in the Friday night. That's what the emphasis now is for them. After they did Shalom Aleichem, the emphasis now is, you'll see, is right into the Friday night service. The next big block of prayer is the Kiddush, the Friday night Kiddush. So all these words are leading up to it. And then the Shema, and then Aleinu. It's all Friday night stuff. Okay, so it's very exciting because not only are you learning how to read Hebrew, but you're going to learn how to read the Friday night service, which is totally amazing. It's really, you've come a long way, baby. So wish you all Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Prayer
Thank you.
tonight.